The plague of 1665 observed by Samuel Pepys from August to September. Eighth of August, 1665. To my office a little, and then to the Duke of Albemarle's about some business. The streets empty all the way, now even in London, which is a sad sight. And to Westminster Hall, we're talking, hearing very sad stories from Mrs. Mumford, among others of Mr. Mitchell's son's family. And poor Will, that used to sell us ale at the hall door. His wife and 3 children died, all, I think, in a day. The town growing so unhealthy that a man cannot depend upon living 2 days. Oh, the people die so that now it seems they feign to carry the dead to be buried by daylight, the nights not sufficing to do it in. And my Lord Mayor commands people to be within at 9 at night, as they say the sick may have liberty to abroad for air. There is one also dead out of one of our ships at Deptford, which troubles us mightily. And this day W. Bottom tells us that one is dead at Woolwich, not far from the rope yard. I am told, too, that a wife of one of the grooms at court is dead at Salisbury, so that the kings and queens are speedily to be gone to Milton. Oh, it was dark before I could get home, and so land at Churchyard Stair, where, to me great trouble, I met a corpse of the plague in the narrow alley, just bringing down a little pair of stairs. To the Exchange, where I have not been for a great while, but Lord, how sad a sight it is to see the streets empty of people, and very few upon the Exchange. This day I am told that Dr. Burnett, my physician, is this morning dead of the plague. 31st of August. Up, and after putting several things in order to increase this week beyond all expectation of almost 2,000, making the bill 7,000 and the plague above 6,000. Thus this month ends with great sadness upon the public, through the greatness of the plague everywhere, through the kingdom also. Every day sadder and sadder news of its increase. In the city died this week 7,496. A true number is fearing 10,000, partly from the poor that cannot be taken notice of through the greatness of number, and partly from the Quakers and others that will not have any bell ring for them. September the 3rd. Up and put on my coloured silk suit, very fine, and my new periwig, bought a while since, but durst not wear, because the plague was in Westminster when I bought it, and it is a wonder what the fashion will be after the plague is done as to periwigs, for nobody will dare to buy any hair for fear of infection, that it had been cut off the heads of people dead of the plague. Consider the madness of people of the town, who will, because they are forbid, come in crowds along with the dead corpses to see them buried. But we agreed on some orders for the prevention thereof. September the 6th. To the Tower, and there sent for the weekly bill, and find 6,978 dead of the plague, which is a most dreadful number, and shows reason to fear that the plague hath got that hold that it will yet continue among us. And Lord, to see how I did endeavour all I could to talk with as few as I could, there being now no observation of shutting up houses infected, that to be sure we do converse and meet with people that have the plague upon them. Oh, to hear that my poor Payne, my waiter, had buried a child and is dying himself. To hear that a labourer I sent but the other day to Dagenham is dead of the plague. and that one of my own watermen that carried me daily fell sick as soon as had landed, is now dead of the plague. To Lambeth, but Lord, what a sad time it is to see no boats upon the river, and grass grows all up and down Whitehall Court, and nobody but poor wretches in the street. 7,165 dead of the plague. Sir W. Batten is gone this day to meet to adjourn the Parliament to Oxford. This night I hear that 2 of our watermen that used to carry our letters and were well on Saturday last, one is dead and the other dying sick of the plague. The lamentable moan of the seamen that lie starving in the streets for lack of money, which trouble and perplex me to the heart. And more at noon, where we were to go through them, for then above 100 of them followed us, some cursing, some swearing, and some praying for us. September the 12th. Good news this week that there are about 600 less dead of the plague than last week. I walk to the Tower, but Lord, how empty the streets are, and melancholy. So many poor sick people in the streets, full of sores, and so many sad stories overheard as I walk. Everybody talking of this dead and that man sick, and so many in this place. And they tell me that in Westminster there is never a physician and but one apothecary left, all being dead. But there are great hopes of a decrease this week. God send it.